Shacaiah Blue Harding loves to sing and dance, often spontaneously in public. People would stare, and Shikaya didn't care. She was very much a free spirit. She was also very close to her family and extended family, as was the norm in her Native American culture. Shikaya, who often went by her middle name Blue, found herself living a tough lifestyle by the time she was 19 years old. She had recently begun struggling with drugs and started bouncing from place to place, but always stayed in touch with family. Shikaya was seen walking on Buena Vista Drive in Billings, Montana on July 25, 2018, around 4 p.m. Usually active on social media, she posted on her Facebook page just before midnight a very cryptic and mysterious post. Shikaya would never be seen or heard from again. Where is Shacaiah Blue Harding? Hello, and welcome back to the Where Are They podcast bonus episode. Since this is a bonus episode, we are going to skip all the hoopla we generally talk about in the beginning and jump right into the very sad disappearance of 19-year-old Shacaiah Blue Harding. Shikaya was born November 28, 1998, to her mother, Tamara Bearcom Scout. Tamara said Shikaya was unique in both style and personality and never really cared what others thought of her. The family was very close. There was a large network of aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents. And Shikaya was also known to be very talented in making videos and doing hair and makeup. In fact, for a while as a teenager, she had planned to attend cosmetology school and pursue that as a career path. Shikaya would attend parties and get-togethers as a teenager, especially with her cousins and friends. But despite her outgoing personality, she wasn't into the party scene. She didn't drink or do drugs, and even if others around her were partaking, she was not. However, that would all change in the spring of 2018 when Shikaya was 19 years old, although the reasons which may have led her down that path are unclear. During this time, she also became more independent and would also go several days without seeing her family members. I'm not 100% sure where she might have actually been living, at least officially, but everyone kind of indicates that she was all over the place, leading an almost transient lifestyle at this point. Her cousin would describe being with her and seeing her behave oddly, and she would call her out on it. Her cousin said she would immediately snap back to reality and start acting normal again. However, her family did start to have some concerns about her behavior. On July 5th, 2018, Shikaya went to her mom's house to return a cell phone. Her mom, Tamara, said it was a bit unusual because Shikaya didn't willingly like to give this phone back to her mom. And I'm not sure if she didn't have her own phone at the time or if they were just sharing the device between each other. And it might have even been just a different type of phone and her mom was in need of a new one. But her mom does remember that it was a little odd that Shikaya willingly brought and gave her this phone. A few weeks would go by and the cousins and other family members would start talking amongst themselves and realizing that no one had seen or heard from Shikaya in a while. So they started looking for her. They checked in with people she knew and places she was known to frequent, but no one had seen Shikaya. They learned that she was last seen walking on Buena Vista Drive in Billings, Montana at 4:00 p.m. on July 25th, 2018. It was not confirmed who saw her. Rumors were that she had just gotten out of a relationship and posted an odd Facebook status update that night around midnight. Part of the message reads, "All depressing, but I'm typing it like it's everything, but relying on feelings suck." There were no additional posts made after that one. And I do want to mention, most reports have that date listed as July 25th, 2018, but there are a few that list the date of missing as July 23rd. The Department of Justice also publishes a report on missing Native Americans, and I was able to find her name within that report, and it's pretty shocking the number of Native Americans that are missing. In fact, it's not readily talked about through mainstream media or at all, really, but there's currently over 6,000 missing Native Americans in the U.S., and only 116 of them are actually listed in the Department of Justice database. So her family starts trying to look for Shikaya on their own. Remember, this is a girl who had been struggling a lot lately and often went missing for days at a time. And they knew she had been struggling with drugs. However, when they couldn't find her anywhere, Shikaya's mom, Tamara, finally goes to file a missing persons report. The official report was taken on August 20th, 2018 by the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office. Almost a month has passed since anyone saw Shikaya. And I find it interesting that we don't even really know much about that last sighting, such as who saw her, was she alone, what direction she was headed, any details of that sighting at all. But police don't really start investigating the case, and not much is done. And I've seen this a lot in cases when people with a past or a drug problem, or those who live a transient type of lifestyle, go missing, which is very sad. In this case, there is a lot of evidence that Native Americans who go missing also don't receive adequate attention from either law enforcement or media. And in the case of Shacaiah Blue Harding, we have all elements. We have a Native American girl living on the streets, possibly a transient lifestyle, and maybe a drug problem. So the family was on their own. They had flyers made up and they started to hit the streets, putting up posters and asking everyone they could about Shikaya. They received a tip that Shikaya had been hanging around a man that lived in Billings, and that this man had previously been accused of rape and was overall just known to be trouble. When Tamara took this information to law enforcement refused to question the man based on just that tip alone. So Shikaya's family went over to see him themselves. And of course, he denied knowing where Shikaya was. And really, it's not the job of the family to do this. Law enforcement is trained specifically to ask the right questions and ask them the right way. So it's unfortunate that it was left completely up to Shikaya's family to do this. It did come out that this tip had come in from the man's ex-girlfriend who had seen him stalking Shikaya when they were together. Now, this could be a case of an angry ex-girlfriend out for revenge. Or perhaps she does know that her ex, who has a violent history, had an obsession with Shikaya. I guess we just don't know, as this tip wouldn't go any further. A friend of Tamara's would tell Tamara that she saw Shikaya downtown and that she had been talking to some men who were known to be involved in the human trafficking industry. The family wasn't able to track down these men, and the friend has since passed away. But it does make me think, how are we able to identify known human traffickers as members of the public, yet we can't arrest them and get them off the streets? It's so baffling to me that this can be happening right under our noses, and I know that it does, but it's unfortunate that we can't do more to shut these operations down. Another lead wouldn't come in for a while, and when it does, it actually comes from law enforcement. Tamara received a call from a detective letting her know that they were able to learn that someone purchased a bus ticket from the area to Colorado. But other than that, they were unable to research this further. Tamara was ecstatic when she got this news. She thought they had likely finally found Shikaya and they could track her down. So the family pressed the police to find surveillance footage or start investigating to see if this person actually got on the bus and made it to Colorado. But the police told her that it was too weak of a lead to put forth all the effort that would take. Law enforcement said it would require a lot of paperwork to make that happen, and they weren't able to do that. So that is astonishing to me. This is an actual official missing persons in the system now, and police have a lead, but they tell the family it would require too much paperwork to follow up on it. So that lead would take them nowhere. Another person that Shikaya's family had suspected was her ex-boyfriend, Eric. Eric and Shikaya had a rocky relationship, and some friends have said that he was abusive, although there are no formal reports confirming that. Eric also lived in New Mexico, and her family felt that she may have purchased that bus ticket to Colorado, attempting to make it down to the New Mexico area to be with Eric. So, of course, the lack of information in this case is seriously frustrating. And I tried to get a better look at who Shikaya was by looking through her social media. And I found that she has 2 Facebook pages, both relatively current, both with current, as of 2018, posts. One was under Shacaiah Blue, with her last known post being put up on June 4th, 2018. And on that page, she's only showing 10 friends. And it lists her home as being Billings, Montana. This page was started in 2017. There is another page, which is actually one of the 10 friends on the first page I had found. And this page is under Harding Blue Shikaya. This page was started back in 2011, but her last post on this page was July 25th, 2018. This is the last Facebook post that is mentioned in her case files. This page also lists her residence as Fort Riley, Kansas. So I am confused by the location changes of where she may be living. And her case file does say that she might be in the areas of Billings, Montana, Fort Riley, Kansas, or New Mexico. I know her connection to New Mexico would be Eric, but not sure where Fort Riley, Kansas comes into play, as they just don't give us enough information. I do want to read you a few of her Facebook posts to help you get an idea of Shikaya and maybe a little insight into her struggles. I also want to give a trigger warning before I go any further. Her words are kind of dark and a little scary. So please fast forward to the end of this part if you don't want to hear it. I'll play music in the background during her quotes so you know when they are her words. Keep playing this tag you're it bullshit, and you're already too much of a sick bitch just like her. But looks like someone's getting stripped of what keeps them since they want to play and act like it's so easy. I took that shit once, and baby boy, I ain't even had to touch not one person's belongings to do so. I always try to keep my distance, but I am who you made. Pulling me back in because you like the way I am. I look crazy, but I swear I love this life. And I can't help it, man. I hold so much in, just because I don't want you to steal it. My baby's mother's 8 months, her little sister's 2. Who's to blame for the both of them? Look at Chaya. I swear to God, I just want to slit my wrists and end this bullshit. This is a prison, but instead of an inmate, I'm all the above. So many responsibilities, but I still can't say that what I mind or the stuff that come out of it has a particular body I'm thinking of. Reputation is a hard thing to keep when all that you do is publicly entertaining, and the popular have the votes on how to make it. I guess I care what you think. I wish you could see nothing. So, as I mentioned, pretty dark stuff. There are a few main theories in this case, although really almost anything is possible here. Theory number 1, Shikaya ran off and is living on the streets still. Did her life become so messed up in drugs and other illegal activities that she just can't even come home anymore? This is one of the theories that her family believes might be the case. Theory number 2, Shikaya is being held in a sex trafficking ring. Her family also believes this could be a possibility, that she is alive and being held against her will, especially knowing she might have been communicating with some men known to be involved in the human trafficking world. Theory number 3, Shikaya overdosed on the streets. With her involvement in drugs, this can't be ruled out either. Theory number 4, Shikaya met with foul play. Also a possibility, especially when you surround yourself with unsavory characters and violent people. So what do you think might have happened to Shacaiah Blue Harding? Her family believes wholeheartedly that she is alive out there, and they beg for help in finding their daughter, their sister, their cousin, and their friend. And this is just the kind of case that can benefit from a public push, especially if she is out there. So please share her story any way that you can. Shikaya's family deserves answers, and Shikaya herself might be in need of help. Shikaya is a Native American girl standing about 5'4" tall at the time of her disappearance, weighing about 120 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes and may also be going by the name Blue. If you have any information regarding Shikaya, please contact the Yellowstone Sheriff's Office at 406-256-2929 or check out the Facebook page her family has set up for her and reach out to them. You can find that page titled Bring Shacaiah Harding Blue Home. In any event, I hope you do go find that page and like it to help bring more exposure to her case. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Even at the time of this recording, that page has just a couple hundred likes, and she has been missing for 3 years. So thank you so much for listening to this case and to Shakaiah's story. We will be back again next week with another unsolved missing persons case. And until then, stay safe and hug your loved ones.